Hello and good morning. This is Scott. Welcome to the meditation live stream. This channel is all about integration of the different dimensions of our being. And on here we work on a guided practice, but first I like to do a brief talk. And lately there's so much going on in the world, isn't there? There's like division and violence and war and different narratives and competing value structures and so on. And if you're a regular person and not impacted by the conflict, I think that you're very lucky. Maybe there's a way in which if you don't have connection to all of the things that are happening instantaneously, that you're kind of blissfully ignorant of the goings-on in the world. And yet, I think even though, the modern day we utilize technology to connect in this way, we have to, I think, remember in every moment that we are all human. We are all made of the earth. And from there, we are very diverse. We have very different ideas on how to live, on how to be, on how to, or what makes a good life. And these ideas, there's so many. And there's so much content. There's so much human-created conflict. And what to do about all of that, I think maybe some people feel and think about. And here on my channel, I think that we need practices. I think that if you're spiritually inclined, you maybe consider yourself spiritual but not religious, or you have the orientation toward life that there is such a thing as spirit, and that we are a part of that spirit, and that there is something greater than ourselves that you can refer to either as God or something larger than oneself, with which to which you feel like you are connected to. At times in your life you may feel an up and down sort of trajectory with your relationship with spirit, and that we need practices with which that are like tools in a toolbox that can allow us to open ourselves a little bit more to reality and become a little bit more connected to ourselves and each other. And I see a great power in this. I believe that there's a great power in opening ourselves up to source, something larger than oneself, resourcing ourselves. And also, this knowledge is not just something that maybe you would read about in a scientific text, but it would be something also that would provide you meaning and direction in your life. And these are the skills I think that aren't necessarily taught in school, but maybe should be, like a kind of awareness, education. When I was when I was younger, there wasn't a lot of talk about emotional intelligence. You were either into sports, and that was like kind of like your physical sort of intelligence or gifts, or you were smart and you did other things. And I think we need to come together and see more of a spectrum of who we are rather than just physical bodies and minds, but also emotions and relationships. They didn't really teach about relationships in school. It was just sort of like, you kind of figure that out. Health class had very little to say about that. Other than the biological component. And I think there's a self-organizing power in spiritual practice that allows people to kind of constellate or self-organize around values of connection and peace, and learning how to navigate a world of difference and diversity, and being able to deal with people and situations that maybe you don't like, and how to kind of mature and grow and evolve. And I think we need to kind of congeal around those forces. I think those forces are very real, and I think they can be cultivated. And this is the main impetus of this channel. This is the reason to practice. So that being said, today we'll start with a Donna Eden technique. So making sure that your feet are crossed at the ankles, at least, or you could sit cross-legged, and taking your hands up and bringing them like this into your chest, and then we'll do some deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. This is very good for balancing the energy body. Very good. We'll do 3 more. Great. And then coming out of that, making sure to flick your hands away from your body. Great. And then gently closing your eyes and bringing your attention inside, feeling the sensations of your body, and allowing your breath to breathe in your usual way, your typical in-breath and out-breath. And feeling your sensations of your body, tingling, pulsing, temperature, sense of presence, aliveness. the earth underneath your body's connection to the planet. You can begin to practice the process of feeling and softening. So on the in-breath, feeling your body. And then on the out-breath, softening and melting down through your body and into the earth. And the softening can feel like warm, melting honey that as it travels down through your body, it heals, cleanses, and purifies everything that it touches, and melts deep into the earth where the energy is transformed and recycled. Each wave of the breath, each breath cycle, you get a little bit closer to your body and melt a little bit deeper into the earth. And if you like, you can add in a pause at the end of your out-breath between the next in-breath. And on the in-breath, feeling your body. And the out-breath, softening, melting down through your body. And then at the end of the out-breath, you pause and let go, dissolve. attention up into your heart. You can feel your heart space. If you like, you can imagine as though you're breathing directly in and out of your heart. And on the in-breath, feeling your heart. And then on the out-breath, softening and expanding your heart. And sometimes it could be helpful to actually put your hand over your heart so you can feel the heat of your hand, feel into your heart space. And you can come in contact with your emotions and notice how you're feeling emotionally, your emotional landscape. And without making your emotions right or wrong, good or bad, just allowing yourself to feel them a little bit in the shared space. You could be feeling any of the 5 main cardinal emotions like anger, sadness, fear, joy, or shame. Just allowing yourself to feel your feelings a little bit. If you like, you can add in a pause at the end of your out breath. So on the in breath, feeling your heart. Out breath, softening and expanding your heart. And then at the end of the out breath, pausing between that and the next in breath. And just letting go into the open space of your heart. Spending time with our hearts is very important and honors the endless activity of our heart, keeping us alive, allowing us to connect to each other. in which our hearts, because of our lives, they can sometimes need a little time to open. So when we practice with our heart, we have to be gentle and allowing our nervous system to get more in a rest and digest place. And then without force at all, our hearts tend to open, heal, and process the past. And that's quite a beautiful thing that our hearts are capable of. And it's not something that we have to entirely do alone. It's something we can do in groups, and should we choose to create those kinds of groups in our life. We just create this space for ourselves to feel a little bit. And it helps kind of digest the pressures and the congestion in our hearts. And then bringing your attention now up into your head space, feeling your head in and around your skull. And if you like, you can imagine breathing into your third eye between your eyebrows or your crown at the top of your head, whatever feels correct for you. And just feeling into your head and softening on the out breath. And just practice softening in and around your skull. From here you can begin to notice what your mind is like and the activity of your mind. And without getting involved with your thoughts, letting them come and go, and as I like to say, thoughts can be kind of seductive and pull you in. So a good rule of thumb is to come back to feeling your head or your body and the earth underneath you as useful grounding tips. Just coming back to your head, your body, when you notice that you are pulled into a thought. And if you like, you can add in a pause at the end of your out breath. So on the in-breath, feeling your head, out-breath, softening your head. And then at the end of the out-breath, a pause of like dissolving the head. So it's almost like your head disappears. And the whole entire sky is resting on your shoulders. And just letting it go in that space of the pause into the vast open field of your mind. Now we're going to spend a little time with our eyes open, gently opening your eyes and allowing the work we did to remain present and not evaporate. And we practice with our eyes open because the majority of waking life, our eyes are open, and we would like eyes open in relationship. And to take the qualities of awareness and bring them into the space of seeing. And seeing is meant more than just with the eyes. It's also a combination of seeing and feeling, seeing and sensing. And on the in-breath, we practice feeling around the outside. And the out-breath, practice feeling inside. And this is very useful because we know more about the outside and more about the inside. And with eyes open, we practice infusing the sense of sight with the senses of feeling. So on the in-breath, feeling around you, and the out-breath, feeling inside you. And you may notice that it could be a little bit easier to feel outside rather than inside, or vice versa. It could be easier to feel inside rather than outside. And that's completely normal. It's just noticing what it's like for you. practice, if you like, adding in qualities to the technique. And those qualities would be love, compassion, gratitude. So you can practice feeling love and compassion and gratitude all around you on the in-breath. And then on the out-breath, love and compassion and gratitude toward yourself. And you can practice sending and receiving love, compassion, and gratitude. I often have heard the phrase, it's better to give than to receive. And I think this is not true. I think, especially in relationship, we need to both learn to give and receive. we'll practice some a little extra grounding techniques. So, on the in-breath, feeling your body, the out-breath softening down through your body, and then at the end of the out-breath, letting go into the earth in a pause. In-breath, feeling, out-breath softening, end of the out-breath, letting go into the earth. You can comfortably go at your own pace. Very good. And then from here we can set our prayers and intentions for the day. I'll be quiet so that you can do yours. May this work that we do transform our life, offering up blessings and ripple out into the community. Amen. Thank you so much for joining me on this Sunday. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.